do you know what worries me, or what my perception of this is that this tour to Australia, King is the head of state in Australia, big royal fans in Australia. This is like a dummy run for a Meghan and Harry tour in the UK.
Well, I disagree with you because I do not believe that Meghan will ever set foot in this country again.
I think it is. I think if it all goes well there, and the royal people, members of the royal, it's Commonwealth, it's a realm, and they're treated okay, or that all goes well, Harry and his team will look at that and think, well, if we could do it in Australia, we can do a Harry and Meghan trip to the UK.
Well, the one thing about the UK is that Harry insists he won't bring his family to this country ever again until the security matters are sorted out. He insists on having, paid for police protection, paid for by the likes of us, paid for police protection whenever he visits. That's still a thorny subject.
Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Winnie, and again we have an amazing guest as always. Welcome so much, Brian, again to my channel. Before we do today's report, please like, share, subscribe to my channel. It will help me grow. Currently I am at 180 subscribers, and the goal is to get to 1k subscribers. So before we start, how do you feel today, Brian? How are you feeling today?
I feel very good, and I thank God. And thank you for having me as always on your channel, Winnie Gossips.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy to see people coming to support you. I just knew that's gonna happen, and I also love myself just watching our videos. I enjoy it myself.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So we have seen a video. Have you enjoyed watching that video?
Honestly, the kind of mourning that I keep on seeing from Mark Wilkinson is just too much. Just too much. Too much mourning from Matt Wilkinson. And he makes stuff up, a lot.
Okay, so my first question, according to that video, you have just had for yourself, according to Carnival so-called expert Matt Wilkinson, he claims that Harry and Meghan visit to Australia is like a dummy run for them visiting the UK. And I noticed while you were watching that, you laughed at that part. What do you think about that, Brian?
Here's what I'm gonna say about Matt Wilkinson. Even the way he said what he said, it made me laugh, really.
Yeah.
Harry and Meghan going to Australia will somehow lead them back to the UK. Does that even make sense when he's saying what he's saying? Harry and Meghan are going to Australia for private, business, and charity engagements.
Yes.
But, for UK media, they are so desperate to see Harry and Meghan set foot on UK soil, yet they know very well that they themselves have treated Harry and Meghan appallingly, and Harry and Meghan themselves may not want to ever really return to the royal fold. If it's to come to the UK, it's for a visit. But to stay, I don't see that happening. So, Matt saying that somehow Harry and Meghan going to Australia is like they're practicing coming to the UK. Does he hear himself talking?
Doesn't make sense.
Does he hear himself talking? Does he hear himself when he's speaking? I don't think he hears himself when he's speaking. He just tends to make stuff up. Because UK media, they want that all roads Harry and Meghan take, they want it to lead them back to the UK. Yet they know that in the UK, it is not a conducive environment
for them,
for Harry, for Meghan, for their kids.
Yes.
It is not a conducive environment. Mainly because of what? Because of the actions of the UK tabloid press.
Yes.
Who are actively, endangering Harry and Meghan's safety, security, because of their negative rhetoric towards Harry and Meghan.
True.
In Australia, Harry and Meghan are treated so well.
True.
And going to Australia is not like a dummy run to go out to the UK. That's not the case.
True.
Harry and Meghan are going to a place even whereby they had so much fun touring together a couple of years ago when they were back in the royal fold. And they were treated so well by the public there. And of course, they want to go back there and even show appreciation for the kindness that members of the public have shown them.
True, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Still in that video, Charles Ray disagrees with Matt, saying that he doesn't see Meghan ever setting foot in the UK. Do you agree with him, Brian?
No. I don't agree with Charles Ray one bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I do believe there will come a time
Yeah.
whereby Meghan will set foot in the UK for a visit, for a few days even.
Yeah.
You know, I believe that Meghan will be there
Mm-hmm.
for a few days, 1 or 2 days, or 4 days, or even 1 week.
Yeah.
I do believe it will come a time when that happens.
That happens, yes.
And I know that many squaddies, you know, just want Harry and Meghan to be safe.
Mm-hmm.
They want Harry and Meghan to be happy.
Yeah, and thrive.
And thrive. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And they've seen that the best place that Harry and Meghan can be happy
Yeah.
and that they can thrive is honestly just by being as far away as possible from the UK because of what UK media keep on doing to them.
True.
So I myself will say this. In as much as even possible for me, yeah. I'll say that I would love to see Harry and Meghan living in Montecito forever and ever and ever, whereby they are happy, whereby Archie, Lily Bedana are happy, they can go to school, go wherever they want to go freely. You know, they can have their Easter egg hunt, having fun together as a family. You know, I love seeing those pictures or videos that Meghan shares with all of us. It's beautiful.
Yes, it's very beautiful.
And I'm thankful for that. And Meghan and Harry have never ever said that, you know, they will never ever go back to the UK.
Yeah.
Meghan has never said that.
True.
Harry has never said that.
Yes.
They've also never ever said that they will never ever, you know, visit the UK.
Yes.
It may happen.
Yeah.
You know? They've also never said that, you know, they're gonna live in the UK forever. They have never ever said that. That's very, very important for me to be able to answer your question.
Yes.
Those 3 things, very, very important. You know, Harry and Meghan, Prince Harry, for example, even has gone to court to fight for security for Meghan, Archie, and Lily Bedana, saying that he wants to be able to bring his family to the UK for a visit. He never said he wants to pack his bags and leave Montecito, and that or he may never ever want to ever come back to the UK ever again. He also never said he wants to live in the UK permanently. He said he wants his kids to be able to know their heritage, where they come from, and to know, of course, his home, where he was born. That's not a bad thing, right?
Yes.
That's not a bad thing. That's okay. And but then when UK media speak about Harry and Meghan coming to the UK, when they speak about it, it's like they think that they're gonna come back here and stay here permanently and never ever leave. That's their way of thinking.
Yes.
When they say, will Meghan come to the UK? It's like he's saying to think that, you know, somehow Meghan will stay there forever and ever and ever and ever. Meghan has never said that. Harry has never said that.
Yeah,
you know, they have never ever said that they have intentions, any intentions of giving up the lives they have built all these years in Montecito. They have never ever said that. That's a key point here. So whenever UK media talk about, will Meghan come to the UK, they're saying that, oh no, she won't come here. They're basically talking about in permanent terms. So permanently, I myself don't see Meghan staying in the UK permanently. However, if it's for a visit, I believe she'll come for 1, 2, 3 days or 1 week even. But and then she'll go back home to Montecito where she's happy. That is what I believe. You know, for example, even the 1 year countdown before the next Invictus Games happens in a few weeks or a few months from now, actually. However, we'll have the 1 year countdown before the next Invictus Games that happens in Birmingham, UK. So and in each and every single 1 year countdown, Meghan has always been there supporting Prince Harry. Right? So that's why there's so much speculation that Meghan may attend with Harry that 1 year countdown before the next Invictus Games that will happen in the UK in Birmingham. So, however, if it's to come for the 1 year countdown, you do realize that they're not coming to stay there forever. They're only coming, if they do come, if Meghan even does come, I'm sure Harry will come. If Meghan does come, you know, it's only for a few days. And then, of course, she and Harry go back home to their kids, Archie and Lily, where they are happy. Whereby they're as far away as possible from the toxic British tabloids who treat them appallingly. In Australia, Harry and Meghan have always been treated so well. Harry and Meghan have always been welcomed. In many of these countries, be it Nigeria, Colombia, you name it, where Harry and Meghan have visited, they've always been showered with warmth and support and love. The problem lies, you know, in the UK, whereby UK media, of course, dominate. You know, whereby members of the Royal Rota are mostly based there, because I don't see Meghan wanting to be in the middle of all of that. So that's in terms of when you talk about will she live there permanently in the UK, I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. But UK media want that.
Yeah.
That's why this debate of will Harry come back to the UK, or you know what, Harry needs to come back to the UK, all that stuff. That's why it continues. That rhetoric, that language, that rhetoric continues, because there's this need by the farm and media to have Harry back in the UK, because he was never ever supposed to escape the cage, but he escaped, and they want to bring him back into that cage whereby he was never supposed to escape, because they can't stand seeing him free with Meghan doing what they want to do. You know, it angers William and Kate so much, and Charles, that they have no control over Harry and Meghan. That's why, you know, UK media, you know, the farm are continuing to try and establish control over what Harry and Meghan do, or what they don't do. Even where Harry and Meghan travel, they want to control. You know,
true.
and want to control that through security, because they know that, you know, we did hear from Prince Harry in his interview. The BBC said that that any offer of security is only for him, but not for his wife and kids. So that shows you that even when he's traveling, it's like there's this order that the farm has given other countries not to give, you know, Harry, Meghan security. Why is that? Because they don't want Harry, Meghan, not to limit Harry, Meghan's movements as possible. Because also they fear, you know, seeing Harry, Meghan being able to continuing, you know, to dominate the headlines, as even we see when this trip to Australia. You know, look at how every single media outlet, like globally, is talking about Harry and Meghan going to Australia. Look at William and Hamilton on vacation constantly. You know, the media aren't focusing on them; they're focusing on Prince Harry and Meghan, and that tells you exactly who's the popular royal and who are the unpopular royals. William and Kate are unpopular. Harry and Meghan are very, very popular. Yeah.
There's something that you've mentioned that really caught my attention when you said that Prince Harry was fighting for security, so that the kids can be able to see the heritage where they came from.
Where they came from.
I think that's a very good trait of Prince Harry, right?
Yeah, it's understandable. I fully understand, you know, why he wants that. You know, we all want to know exactly where we came from, even our family tree. So that's normal. That's not a problem. The problem will always be the behavior of the UK tabloid media. That will always be the problem. That's why wherever Harry and Meghan go, they have to take extra precautions because of the language that UK media like to use targeting them. That is what is very, very concerning, really. Yeah.
Okay. So still in the video, according to Matt, he then proceeds and claims that if Harry and Meghan are treated well in the Australia visit, it will make them want to go back to the UK. What do you think of that?
You know, what does Australia have to do with the UK? Yes, you have King Charles as the head of state. It's understandable.
Yeah.
But remember that in Australia, Harry and Meghan have always been treated well. It's only, of course, the Murdoch press that treats Harry and Meghan appallingly. It's only the Murdoch press that try and chant the public against Harry and Meghan. That's the only problem, really. However, when it comes to the public, we've seen that the public have welcomed Harry and Meghan, showered Harry and Meghan with love. You know, and that has been so good. Even no wonder even Harry and Meghan feel comfortable to go to Australia.
I agree.
You know, Meghan doesn't feel comfortable to go to the UK.
True.
But she feels comfortable to go to Australia.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
She feels comfortable to go there. Why? Because, you know, when she was there, she was treated well.
True.
And if there is something which I know about Meghan, is that when you treat her well, she will never forget it.
True.
She will never forget it. If you're someone who's good and kind to Meghan, she will never forget about how you have been kind to her. She won't forget it. And it's understandable considering what she's gone through all these years. True. You understand how she feels.
Yeah.
So what I can say is that, you know, Australia has nothing to do with the UK.
Yeah.
And basically, you know, UK media, the royal Rotterdams who cover the press pool, who cover the royal family, they are based in the UK.
Yeah.
Generally, they are not based in Australia.
Australia, yes.
Right?
Yes.
They aren't based there. They are based mainly in Britain. So you can see that Harry and Meghan's area of concern is mostly the UK.
Yeah.
That's why Harry says he doesn't feel safe to bring his wife and kids to the UK, because that's where the royal rota are based. That's where UK media are mostly based. And what have UK media done all these years? They've been waging a smear campaign targeting Harry and Meghan and anyone in Harry and Meghan circle for the past 10 years. For the past 10 years, like a decade now. And they haven't stopped to this date. So you see, Harry and Meghan aren't afraid of going to Australia. Or Nigeria, or Colombia, or any other country whatsoever.
True.
Just Britain. Why? Because of the negative rhetoric UK media have used to target Harry and mostly Meghan for the past 10 years. So that's the problem. So there lies the problem. So Harry and Meghan going to Australia,
doesn't relate
to the UK. It doesn't relate to the UK. As you can see from the examples I've given, it does not relate to the UK. It does not. In as much as UK media want to somehow link the two, it's different. Totally and completely different. In Australia, Harry and Meghan always get a good reception. They got a very, very good reception in Australia that UK media was so jealous, so angry that they even escalated their smear campaign targeting Meghan because they were so angry at seeing how popular both Harry and Meghan are in Australia. So even Harry and Meghan themselves, they can go to New Zealand, any other country, Jamaica. Even they didn't go to Jamaica even. So they can go to any other country, just they don't feel safe going together in the UK because of the actions and media rhetoric of Daily Mail, as well as, of course, other tabloids that have made it unsafe for Harry and Meghan to live in the UK.
And I think it's just human nature. You cannot go where you're not welcome.
Exactly. Unless you are a tabloid. Unless you are royal experts. You go to places whereby you aren't welcome. You go and follow Harry and Meghan and then say, I'm entitled to follow them. I'm entitled to follow them. Or rely like Botekoy and say that I'm traveling with Harry and Meghan to Australia. You are not. You are not on the same plane as Harry and Meghan. You are not. But you try and, force yourself onto people who don't want anything to do with you. So unless you're Botekoy, you go to a place whereby you're not invited. That's the UK media. You go to a place whereby you are not invited. That's how UK media, behave. That's how they operate.
All right. Charles Ray unsurprisingly lies and claims that Prince Harry insists on having taxpayers pay for his security, and that's a problem or a thorn, as Charles claims. And he says that it's keeping Harry from returning to the UK with Meghan and the kids. What do you think about that, Brian? What do you think?
I like how you said it's a lie.
I
like how you call it yourself that it's a lie. Because Harry has never said he wants taxpayers to foot his security bill.
True.
He's never said that. In fact, Harry himself offered to pay himself, but he was told, no, Harry, you can't pay for security. That's what he was told. But then Charles is going on the Sun and then saying that Harry wants taxpayers to pay the bill for security. Charles Ray, when did Harry say that? Did Harry not offer to pay for security and you not say that, and that you can't buy police protection? You said that. You said that very, very well. And then Harry was like, fine, if I can't pay for my security, then okay, fine, let's look for ways for me to be able to get security because I need security for my wife and my children. I need my wife and kids to be safe here. Otherwise, I can't bring them to the UK because I know it's not safe because of the UK media rhetoric and language towards my wife and my children. So that's what Harry has said. So basically, it means that if he doesn't need to get security, yes, taxpayers have to pay security bill. However, that is how it should be because Harry is the king's son. Archie, Lilibet are the king's grandchildren. What is shameful is that Charles himself will not lift a finger to guarantee the safety of his own grandkids. That is what is really to me very, very annoying, really. And I don't like that one bit, that he won't lift a finger to guarantee Harry, Meghan and the kids security in the UK and also in other countries because it should be the obligation and the duty of a parent, of Charles himself, in his capacity as the head of state, to guarantee his son's security. But the fact that Harry has had to go through all this hurdles to get security shows you how much of a failure Charles is as a father.
Yeah.
And also, it does raise questions about what truly happened to Harry's mother, Diana, who passed away after a tragic accident. Like, what really happened?
Yeah.
Is it because she said don't to security? I don't believe so anymore. Considering, look at how Harry is fighting for security. You know what happened to Diana. Why are you causing problems or hurdles? When the late Diana's son is fighting for security to protect his family, because he doesn't. One thing I like about Prince Harry is that he won't play games when it comes to his family safety. That to him is non-negotiable. He won't play games with Meghan, Archie, Lily security. He himself is adamant, and he has said this: I'm not bringing Meghan or Archie, Lily for a visit with me to the UK if I don't have security. That's a real man who protects his wife and children, like what Harry has done. And it's shameful that Charles, who failed as a husband to Diana, is now failing even as a father to Prince Harry. He's also failing as a grandfather to Archie and Lilibet Diana. It's how can one person fail so much at so many things, yet you have the chance, you have the ability and the capacity to do something, but you won't do anything. But the person who is doing something, in this case Prince Harry, to fighting for his family's safety, is the one who is attacked because he wants his family to be safe. It's not fair.
It's not fair.
It's not fair at all. It's not fair at all. So, Winnie, I hope I answered your question.
Yes.
And I thank you always for having me in your channel. And I believe I've answered all your questions, unless you have another one.
No, it's just an adding point. The way Harry is standing firm to just have security
for his wife and children.
I think that's something I really admire, even from a distance. Like, that's really something.
Many people admire that. At the same time, we feel sad because he has to face all these hurdles being put in place for just because a man, a husband, a father wants to protect his wife and kids, and then he's being attacked because he wants to protect his wife and kids. Charles is calling it a thorn. Like a man, a husband, a father protecting his kids. You have an issue with that. That tells even more as to why Meghan needs security. That tells even more as to why Meghan will not feel comfortable to be in the UK, because of the language of people like Charles Ray. That tells you why Meghan doesn't feel safe there. And they're proving both Harry and Meghan right.
Even from while Harry was a kid and being exposed to the media and all of that, I think he also has, he has said to himself, like, my kids will not have to
go through what I've gone through.
This. Yes.
He's breaking that cycle of suffering that he has gone through by protecting his children. And that's the mark of a noble man. A man with a very, very good heart. That's who he is. Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex. And I fully applaud and respect him for the lengths that this man goes through to protect his wife and children. And he, every single day, Monday to Friday to Sunday, he keeps on earning our respect every single day because he's a good man. Thank you so much, Winnie, for having me. Thank you so much. Good team.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Brian, for being here as my guest. And
also, we'll be reading the comments, right?
We'll be doing a comment section.
We'll read your comments in this video on what you said. So please kindly talk to us. Tell us what you think. And we'll really appreciate your support in every single thing. Tell us what you think, what you believe in. We will react to every comment from in this video well. So please comment and tell us what you think yourself.
Okay, bye and have a nice one.
Bye and like, subscribe, please. Bye.
And share.
Bye.